Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Derale Transmission Line compression fitting. Now if you come in here, you'll see that we've got it installed on our vehicle already. Now the issue that we were having here is that you can see our crimp fittings from the factory down here. We didn't want to have to replace the entire line set just because one crimp fitting was faulty. This top crimp fitting here was leaking, so we just replaced it using a Derale fitting. This Derale fitting is going to consist of 4 pieces. You'll have the Barb fitting that'll go into your existing transmission line. You'll have the centerpiece that will connect the Barb fitting to the compression fitting. And you're going to have the compression collar and then the little compression fitting on the inside, which will actually create the seal. This kit is designed to fit transmission lines that are 3/8 of an inch. So the line has to be exactly 3/8 of an inch. And then on the hose side, you want it to be 3/8 on the inside diameter of your hose. Now, as far as the installation goes for this kit, it's not very difficult to get this installed. A couple things I would recommend having on hand is if you have those crimp fittings that you'll have to cut off, I highly recommend a Dremel or a rotary tool of some sort with a little cutting wheel on it to slightly score the aluminum crimp so you can peel that off and get the old fitting off. The other thing is you're going to need to make a clean cut on your aluminum line set, so you want to definitely have a line cutter. You can pick these up at any of your local hardware stores. You'll definitely need one to make that clean cut. The other thing is you will need 2 hose clamps to do it how we did it. To begin our installation, we're going to have to remove the factory press fitting. It's a crimp fitting, but that's what our problem is just the fitting is leaking, not the entire line set. The whole line set for our transmission cooler is working just fine. It's just one fitting. So that's why we're replacing it with the universal fitting. Now you can see right here, this is the fitting that's leaking, and you can identify that by all the fluid that is running down this hose. And you can see right underneath, this hose is perfectly dry. So we're just going to take a Dremel and with a cutting wheel and just lightly score this aluminum crimp until we can peel it off. Don't want to damage this hose underneath. That's why we cut through the humped areas, but then left the lower portions still connected, and we just kind of broke it with the flathead screwdriver. Now inside this little groove, we're going to have a snap ring that we have to remove in order to get our fitting out. And from here, we should be able to just pull our line off of our factory line. There we go. Now in order for our fitting to work properly, we're going to need to go into this rubber hose. So we need to pull this factory fitting out. Now we're going to take a tubing cutter and cut just the end of this off so that it can go into our new flare fitting. Now we just used our tubing cutter in order to cut a fresh end on here. Now we are ready to put our flare fitting on. Now in your kit, you're going to have 4 different parts for this universal compression fitting. We're going to have the center section here. You'll have the nut that fits over with the hole for your aluminum line. And then we're going to have the actual compression portion itself that sits inside here. So we'll have our nut that goes over our line. We'll take that, slide it over. And if it's not tight like this on the line, like an exact fit, you probably have the wrong size and you need to get the correct size. Then we'll take this sleeve, slide it over. And we'll take this portion and slide it in. Now we're going to slide this collar down in there. It should fit centered inside of that tube. Then we can take our nut, slide it down, and get the thread started. Then we can grab a couple of wrenches and get it tightened down. Now we can take the last portion of our fitting and thread it into the end. And we'll just take a adjustable wrench and a 11/16 wrench and get this tightened down. Now, one additional thing that will not come in your kit that you're going to need is 2 hose clamps. We're going to take one hose clamp and put it on with the nut facing our engine. And then the other one, we're going to put on the opposite direction so that we have even clamping on our barbs. Slide those 2 on and slide our hose over our barbs. And we'll just grab the appropriate socket to fit our hose clamps and tighten them down. We're going to put one closer to the top, then one here at the bottom, just like that. All that's left to do is start our vehicle, make sure there's no leaks in our connections here, and then top off any transmission fluid that we may have lost through this process. Well guys, hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the Derale transmission line compression fitting is right for you and your fix.